My thoughts about being a Black academic is a thought of pride. I think that I'm still integrating academia, in particular at predominantly white institutions that represent some of our largest research, grant-funded institutions. And this has not been a place where there have been as many of us in numbers across various colleges. And so for me, being here is a moment. Being here for me, honestly, is everyday advocacy for men and women who look like me, that come from a variety of neighborhoods, a variety of experiences, a variety of backgrounds, and to have an opportunity to be in classrooms with students who may not predominantly look like me in terms of skin color, but they respect my intellect. They respect my years in the industry. They respect the contribution I'm making to honestly, the development of their thought leadership as they move forward as professionals. So for me, it is both a moment of pride, it is a moment of advocacy, and quite honestly, a moment of excitement. There has never been a time where I walk on campus and I know I'm walking into a classroom that I don't feel this enormous sense of excitement, because one more day, one more time, one more classroom, I get to do it again. The best advice that I could give to a Black person that wants to move forward in this career, I often call this building, the J School, lovingly, the media building. Everything comes to bear. And I think that if you leave your experiences of any background out of this building, you will cease to be relevant. I know that is a very unpopular thought to have. We live in a society that has often taught us, as we move through the matriculation process, to leave our lives at the door. And I think that this is a very beautiful time to be a young professional, because you are asked to bring the pieces and the parts that tell a greater story. And if nothing else, in this building that I lovingly call the J School, it's called communications, it's called media, it's called advertising, it's called producing, it's called photography. At the end of the day, it is about you sharing who you are, what you have, and what you see through your lens of life, through your lens of gender, through your lens of culture. And I think that that would be the best piece of advice. Don't leave it all at the door. If a Black student approached me and asked, how do I survive this very large institution? I've moved from out of state, or I've come from out of the country. How do I survive here? My number one word is community. Now, community can be an ethnicity, it can be a race. Community can also be a perspective, a point of view. That is what I would stress, because the only way you're going to make it through this huge city environment that an institution as large as University of Florida is by having a community. Places where not just about the work and the classes and the group projects and the tests and the exams, but also about how does that look in your real life away from the classroom. You need safe places to talk, to communicate, to laugh, to cry if need be, to muse about the things that you are dealing with or struggling with. I often tell my students, life doesn't stop just because you have a goal. It walks alongside you. Sometimes that life is happiness, it's joy. Other times there's some really hard moments. And so finding a place where you can let all of you come to bear is going to be essential. It might just be a couple of friends. It may be a Greek organization. It might be a student organization. Or places within the community and the area that you're living in that give that opportunity to you. They can be found in multiple places, but I assure you, community is going to be both your blessing and your salvation at the same time. The most important lesson that I've learned in this journey is to be myself. We often live in a world that tells us to be professional, check your crap at the door. And don't get me wrong, there is always an opportunity to be a professional that is respectful, responsible, makes a contribution. But I also think if we leave the things at the door that separate us, in terms of having a variety of experiences, we leave the thing that is impactful. So my greatest lesson in this journey is to be myself. I spent almost 15 years full-time in advertising before I came into the classroom. And for me, those years, that understanding of the road, the journey, ad land, the business, relationships, project management, sacrifice, those are all things that I'm able to walk into a classroom every single day and not just share great stories with my students. I'm actually showing them how to survive when they leave here. I think that for me, that is my greatest contribution while I'm here. Don't leave all of it at the door. Bring some of it in, because in that, I'm teaching my students how to have longevity in this business.